about Blake Burke. You mentioned you kind of spending some time with him today and talking him through calming down, I guess. And then how big of an emphasis has hitting lefties and hitting off-speed pitches been for him? Because I imagine he hasn't seen a ton of fastballs this year.
Yeah, I think it's something you get used to, especially for the high school kids. You get really good and you get recruited by a big school. They start throwing you nothing but off-speed, and then you get even better at doing that, or you accomplish that task, and then you commit to a big school, and they just walk you. So I don't think Blake is to that point, although we did it to one of their guys tonight. But yeah, he's now familiar with how guys are going to approach him, and really, if you ask all the ESPN, that crew they have is awesome. It's a bunch of good dudes, and of course Chris Burke's got to be our favorite. They all think the same thing. It's one of the prettiest swings in the SEC and therefore the country. So just use it. You don't have to do more or less. And it's nice he said that, but we had real short, simple time, conversating, and really it was just all about kind of using his swing. And I think, a guy that's that good, he's going to, have success every now and then. Unfortunately, tonight he did it with guys on base.
How impressive was what Camden did, shutting down the lineup after they were red hot?
I mean, that's a good lineup. I'd like to be sincere in saying I just didn't do a good job of managing our pitching staff. I'm sure we'll talk about Chase. It kind of starts with that. We wanted to get to a situation where Cam could throw 6 outs for us with the game on the line. We were hoping it'd be the 8th and 9th. Obviously, he came in earlier in a big jam, and then what he did after was incredible because, again, could have managed the pitching on our side better, but you certainly have to give credit to what they're capable of doing offensively and what they did.
What was that conversation like when you and Woody kind of approached Cam there?
Well, he's got his own little vibe going on out there, and I just saw one thing. And in Arkansas, or one of our past games, I saw something similar. Was on the top step and wish I went out, and I didn't, and regretted it. So, you look back on it, it kind of looks goofy because you got the end of the game kind of upon us, but I just want to make sure he was good. And, we've been around each other a lot of days. And so he basically said, go back to whence you came.
I guess about those pitching decisions, the third or the fourth, taking Xander out for the 2 lefties, I guess what went into that thought process?
Here I thought we were buddies. I think you got to be careful at kind of pre-planning what you're going to do. I think our ideal inning was for him to go out there and get those 3 guys out, and then we're going to move on to somebody else. Xander hasn't been worn out by us. We pull him out of those Tuesday games so early when he probably could go 7 or 8 for us, in my opinion. And he threw the ball as well as he's ever thrown it. And some of the infielders even came in and said that. Our kind of mind had been made up ahead of time. Here's the plan to get us to Camden Sewell. And you got to be careful scripting things. And who knows what happens. It was a quirky start to that inning. Bryce Jenkins has been tremendous for us against left-handed hitters. But if anything, I think it'll just make Xander hungrier the next time he's out there. And for us, it makes us feel really good that ceiling is not reached. He's gotten better each day he's been on our campus. And I think he can continue to do so. And as he gets more and more SEC action, I assume he's going to become more and more comfortable.
Let's see Scott been doing so well at the plate the last few weeks.
He's a leader on this team, and I think it took him a while to be a true leader. I don't mind kind of saying it was a little bit out of his comfort zone or trying too hard to do some things. And then at some point he gradually just became himself. And who he is someone all the guys respect, and they also really like him. And then he's got a ton of experience. He's got his, master's degree in Tennessee baseball, at least since we've all been here. So having said that, he is kind of being what our team is. We talked yesterday about, you got to be relaxed a little bit. And he's up there in the 9th inning in one game. It wasn't this weekend. And he was singing to himself, and he battled, I think it was like a 12-pitch at bat. So he was relaxed, but it wasn't like he was goofing off or not intent into what he's doing. So he's kind of mirroring, or I would say leading, the cause of what we got going on is show up and play ball, man. It's a kid's game, and have some fun doing what we're doing. But, for a lot of different reasons, we want to try and win. And he's certainly doing that. I mean, you saw it in the one at-bat again where he battled, where he's just determined to get things done defensively and offensively, and he's always, a runner on the bases, which is nice.
How good was it for CM OBrien to get some positive results at the plate tonight?
It was good, and it all followed a positive approach coming to the park today. I think he and Coach Elander had some wise words last night of just a chance to vent and just talk. And sometimes when you just say something out loud, or you remove yourself from the emotion of the game and just sit there and think about it or say it out loud, then everything kind of makes more sense, and it's easier to think rational about things. And so whatever, that conversation started or ended with, I don't know, but it came to the park expecting to have success, and that's usually what you get. And sometimes we see it with other guys where they come to the park and it's like, man, I think you kind of already, you're kind of dooming yourself with your thoughts or the things you're saying. He did the opposite today. It was really good in BP, and it followed in the game. And so I think it's good. I mean, a kid needs reinforcement. Now, that guy's different. He's super physical and super confident. But everybody needs a little reassurance when you are doing the right things. You'd like, a little carrot at the end of the deal or reward, and fortunately you got it tonight.
Tony, you said on the broadcast that Chase was sick. Camden said earlier that didn't look very good yesterday. Did y'all ever just have any discussions about skipping him this weekend? And ultimately, when was the decision made to give him the ball?
Right, it was this morning, and we had talked, what are we going to do if he's not able to go, and if it's quick. And so, that's what I wish. It kind of ended up where, maybe he can get us 5, or if it doesn't look good, he might only throw an inning or 2 for us, or he might come to the park and say he can't throw. And I just needed to do a better job of managing the situation. And when I say that, part of it might have been us saying, yeah, I know you want the ball, but we're going to supersede you and say. But to be honest with you, it's kind of tough because he was coming to get his throwing in and then leaving because he was sick and a high temperature. And to me, I've said it to you guys, and it maybe sounded a little quirky about the tough gets going, dough gets going, and he tried to gut the thing out. And it stinks he didn't get that reward I'm talking about. But I think if anything now, he's got his teammates' respect, and I think he's got baseball or karma, whatever you want. He's got a break coming to him because of what he tried to do tonight, and it's awesome to see that his teammates picked him up the way they did.
What does Howverson need to do to get back on track?
I think tonight he came out throwing with conviction. It was just the margin for error was a little bit small, and again, everything kind of seemed to be out of whack there until Sewell came in. Throws a really good breaking ball, and then the second one wasn't as good. But their lineup's dangerous. They got good hitters. So I like the way he came out throwing the ball tonight. I mean, he's up to 98 miles an hour. I don't put much into velo, but he had conviction behind every pitch. And again, karma. Augie Garrido's name's behind us. I am a little bit believer in karma, and I think he's got a break coming to him next time he comes out because he's been working his butt off in between days. And he's throwing strikes, and the way he threw the ball tonight, if he throws that way again next time out, I like his chances.
We've been seeing the trend of you guys scoring with 2 outs, and you've been talking about the looseness of this group. Is that what you think is helping in those, kind of high-pressure situations, or is it something else that you've been noticing?
Yeah, no, I think there's been more of a team at-bat approach, and that doesn't come from any one conversation or plan or anything that we've done. It just seems guys have had enough early on with not having success. So what do we got to do to have success? Just find a way, and it doesn't have to be it felt good or I hit it far or I got mine or anything like that. It's just what do we got to do to get to the next pitch? And that's kind of what C. Scott's done in some of those at-bats with 2 strikes and 2 outs is just what do I got to do to get to the next pitch and help our team win? And that part of the game, I think, it always helps to be relaxed. If you're tense, you'll get exposed by a guy in the SEC that can dice you up a little bit pitching-wise. So it certainly helps to be loose, but that part in particular, I think, just comes from the guys wanting to come together as a group and, find a way to do whatever it takes for everybody to come together.
Going back to you managing the bullpen, just how easy does Sewell and Burns, having those 2 guys that can go multiple innings, make your job?
Yeah, it helps. I mean, going into the season, you're looking at Lindsey, Sewell, and even Howverson you could throw in that conversation at the time. And with Burns, it's kind of flip-flopped. And so our confidence is where it was with high expectations at the beginning of the season. I think we just happened to, each year's different, circumstances are different. We've started to find guys where their comfort zone is. And heck, there's still room for guys to improve situations they want to be in, if that's the right way to say it, because we were talking about Xander. And then there's other, things that can occur too, where we might decide we like a guy in a certain situation that he, hasn't necessarily done before. But options are good. Coach A does a phenomenal job in getting prepared and coaching them up. But we were also blessed with some talent.
I guess